In economics today, we go to chapter 4, factors that may shift the demand curve. So when we talk about factors that may shift the demand curve, we're talking about non-price factors. For price factor, it means demand curve can either can be moved, and it can expand or contract. Yeah, expand or contract. That is for demand, that's a price. But for non-pricing factor, it means demand can either shift to the right or to the left. So before we go further, we have the case study. Please read the case study for me, please. Holiday treats.
Yeah?
Holiday treats.
Jacob Arturo works for a big oil company in Kenya. And just to say, he was promoted and received a some pay increase. He decided to spend some of his extra pay on a treat for him and his wife. He had seen a television advert recently placed by a travel company. The advert offered discounts on holidays to the Seychelles.
Seychelles.
Yeah. He knew that his wife would enjoy the trip, so went ahead and booked the holiday.
Okay, so just go to the question immediately. Yeah, this. In addition to the price, what two factors might affect the quantity demanded for holidays in decisions? So price is a factor that affects demand. It's either because there's the law of demand. So the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. The lower the price, the higher the quantity demanded. So price will definitely affect demand, either to increase the demand for the product or to reduce the demand for the product. Aside price, the question is, aside price, what other factors could affect demand? So we have other factors, we call them the non-pricing factors, like the consumer's income, the level of money you make. It can also affect the demand for a product. Yes or no? The money you have, not the price anymore. The amount of money you have will determine if you are able to buy more of a product or less of a product. Yes or no? So I wrote consumer incomes, advertising. So the kind of advertisements, if the business is able to successfully advertise the product to convince customers to buy, they will buy more. Yes or no? So advertising is also a factor that could affect demand. The third one, taste and fashion. The trend. Over time, people's taste changes due to friends, there are social changes that could occur, and this could also affect the demand for a product. Some products that are old-fashioned, nobody wants to buy them anymore. The demand for such products will less, and they are latest one. So the demand for latest one can increase. The last one I wrote here is the price of holidays in other locations. We're talking about holiday in decisions. So if Seychelles is a location, right? It's an area.
Where is it? Is it an island?
Seychelles, I think it's an African country. Well, it's a resort, an holiday resort that you could go. I think it's an island too. So if the price in other locations or in other countries are cheaper than this, they will stop going to Seychelles. Yes or no? So the price of substitutes is it clear? No. So that's the first question, which I answered already. The second one said, what would you expect to happen to the quantity demanded for holidays in Seychelles during a recession? Explain your answer. When you talk about recession means decline in economic activity. And when there is decline in economic activity, this might lead to unemployment. And if there is unemployment in the economy, the income of people would reduce. Yes or no? And remember that holiday is a luxury. Yes or no? So as the level of income falls, people might stop holidaying in the Seychelles. Yes or no? So look at what I wrote here. I said, during the recession, demand for holiday in the Seychelles is likely to fall. This is because during recession, consumer incomes are likely to fall. This means it will be more difficult for many consumers to afford holidays in the Seychelles. So, if there's recession in an economy, it means work, jobs are not flowing the way they used to flow. So a lot of people would lose jobs, a lot of people would lose income. So they wouldn't have that opportunity. They won't be able to afford holiday in decision. So that's the answer for 2. Is it clear? They said in PS, let's forget about the 3. Okay. So we'll go to shift now. Are you there? Right. So here they said factors that may shift the demand curve. So these are the factors that may shift the demand curve, rightward or leftward. So we have, it said price is the main factor that affects the quantity demanded. However, there are many other factors and each of them may actually shift the demand curve. So what are those factors? So aside price that would lead to contraction and expansion, there are other factors that could shift the demand curve, either to the right or to the left. And these are the factors that we're seeing. We have advertising, we have demographic changes, we have income, we have price of complements, we have price of substitutes, we have fashion and taste. So we take it one at a time. We start with advertisement. So for advertisement, it said business trying to influence demand for their products through advertising and other forms of production. So what they are saying in essence is this. For advertisement, are you there, please?
Yeah.
So for advertising, I wrote, businesses try to influence the demand for their products through advertising and other forms of promotion. So an increase in advertising may likely shift the demand curve rightward from D1 to D2. That is if the advertisement is successful. Listen, please. Advertisement can increase the demand for a product. But what would make the demand for a product to increase through advertisement? It means the advertisement is successful. If the advertisement is not successful, you might not witness an increase in the demand for your product. So you need to make an advert that will convince people, that will convince consumers to buy. Do you understand? Either persuasive or informative. Either way, you have to make an advertisement that will convince customers or consumers to buy. So if you are able to convince them to buy your product, it means your advert is what? Successful. And that will shift your demand curve rightward. Is it clear? So a successful advertisement, look at the graph here. A successful advertisement will shift the demand curve from D1 to D2. It's going to lead to a rightward shift. You get it? Yeah. Is it clear? Great. So that is about advertisement.
No income.
We go to income. So before we go to income, we have an activity to get done. Okay. So look at the activity here. They said the case study, demand and advertising. So they said this is the global ad spend from 2014 to 2020 estimated. So we have the case study and advertisement. For 2014, we have in millions, that's 488,480, right?
That's not a million.
Yeah, and 674,240. That's what we have. So that's 488 billion. 488 billion, 480 from 2014 to 674 billion, 240 in 2020. You get this, and this is the expected expenses on advertisement from 2014 to 2020. So for global ad spend, so let's check. Now the question says, calculate the percentage increase in predicted advertising and expenditure between 2014 to 2020. So yeah, the percentage increase in global advertising expenditure is given by, in 2014, we have, in 2020, we have 674, right? We have 674.24 billion. And in 2014, we have 488.48 billion. So the percentage change will be 674.24 minus 488.48 gives us, that gives us 185.76 divided by, we're talking about the percentage here. So the end year, which is the end year, which is 2020, minus the expenditure of 2014, divided by the expenditure of 2020, multiplied by 100.
35%.
No, I think it's more than 25%. Let's check. So we have 185.76 over 488.48 multiplied by 100. So we have 185.76 multiplied by 100. That gives us 185.76 divided by 488.48 divided by 488.48. That's 38%. 38%. You get, so the advertisement, the estimated the advertisement for global ad spend would have increased to would be 38% increase from 2014 to 2020. Is it clear? All right. Do you understand that, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 38%.
38%.
Okay, I did it already. So
Oh,
this,
so close.
yeah, you tried, yeah, at least without calculator. Now, the second question says, why are some businesses prepared to spend so heavily on advertisement or on advertising? Here I wrote, some businesses spend huge amounts of money on advertising because they believe that demand can increase if the advert is successful. Like I told you earlier, so you should witness an increase in the demand for your product if you are able to convince customers through your ad. So here, I wrote some businesses spend huge amounts of money on advertising because they believe that demand can increase if the advert is successful. The effect will be a rightward shift in the demand curve. This implies that the demand for the product will rise at all price levels. So if the advert is successful, then the demand for their product will rise at all price levels. Is it clear? So go to the second factor that could affect the demand for the products, which is income. So when we talk about income, yes, when we talk about income means the amount of, one. No, this is chapter 4. This is the case study for chapter 4 and the activity 1. So we go to chapter 1 now. We go to chapter 4. Yeah, we're starting already. Yeah, we're going to income now. So for income, when we talk about income, we're talking about the amount of money an individual makes. So it's not all what you make as an individual is what you can spend. What you can spend is called disposable income.
Disposable
income. So disposable income is the amount of money that is available for you as an individual to spend when you have paid all your dues.
So the disposable income?
Yeah, that's the amount of money you can spend.
Pay for the company.
No.
Like for the economy.
You as an individual, the amount of money that is available for you to spend or save, that is what we call disposable income.
Okay.
Is it clear?
It comes with the shift of the demand curve.
Yeah, the level of income will determine if there is going to be an increase in the demand for a product or a leftward shift in the demand for a product. So here I wrote, I said, when the disposable income rises, are you with me, please?
Yeah.
For income now, I wrote, when the disposable income rises, demand for goods will also rise. When the disposable income, when the amount of money that you are able to spend increases, the demand for products will also what? Will increase. So here I said disposable income, this is the amount of income that is available for a household to spend after all necessary payments are made. So it means you've paid your taxes, you paid your dues, then what is left is your disposable income. So this takes us to normal goods and inferior goods. So when we talk about normal goods, why do we have to talk about normal goods and inferior goods? We need to talk about normal goods and inferior goods because it is attached to our level of income. Sometimes when we have so much money with us, there are some products we think about buying.
So the income, it comes with the economy. So it's with the fashion taste and income and advertising for the economy to grow.
Yeah, but all these things are attached to how the economy will grow because fashion and taste, income level, advertisement, all these things would increase aggregate demand. Are you with me?
Yeah, I lost the page. What page?
Page 25.
Yeah.
Now 26. Okay. So what we're saying is this. All these things would increase aggregate demand or reduce aggregate demand in the economy. So if demand in an economy falls, it will affect the economy. So if the demand in an economy increases, it also have a positive impact on the economy. But we're not there, we're not going there today. What we're talking about today is about the income level. Are you here, please?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the words, okay?
Okay. So when you talk about income, we're talking about the amount of money you could make as an individual. So some goods come to your mind whenever you are so rich, when you have so much money with you. This kind of products are products that we call normal goods.
This causes the demand curve to shift right or down, right or left.
Yeah. For the normal goods, if your income level rises, the demand curve for that product will rise, will increase, and to be rightward. These are normal goods. Please listen to me, please.
Okay.
Normal goods. When we talk about normal goods, these are goods that the demand for such goods will increase if your level of income increases. These are normal goods. This kind of goods, this kind of products, you think about them whenever you have so much money with you. They are called normal goods. For inferior goods, these are goods that you think about whenever your level of income falls. When you don't have so much with you think about this kind of goods. Do you understand the difference between normal and inferior now?
Inferior is abnormal.
No. Inferior goods are goods that you think about buying when you don't have so much with you. These are the kind of products you want to buy because you don't have so much with you.
It's like the needs and the wants, right? Something like that.
Yeah. We don't talk about needs and wants. We're talking about the kind of product. Let's assume this product, this bottled water is 5 dinars. There are other ones that you could buy for 3 dinars, for 2 dinars. Or you could go to the shop. The supermarket that you buy this from might also be producing bottled water at a lesser price. Yes or no?
When I was working at the school, I go like outside with my friends to buy like water, foods, like yeah. So that day I was like buying water because I was thirsty, and then it was like its price was like 1 dinar, and then this shop beside us, it sells like step so much.
Okay.
Yeah, and one bottle is like 75 dirham.
Lesser than this. So the kind of shop you go to, whenever you don't have so much, what you buy there is an inferior product. The shops you go to when you have so much money with you to buy, it's a normal product. Do you understand the difference now? Great. So that's all about income. So the demand for a product will rise. The demand for a normal good will rise if your level of income rises. It shifts the demand curve rightward. But if for inferior goods, the demand for such products will rise, will only increase if the level of income falls. So put it in mind, please. For when you're talking about normal goods are goods that when their demand increases when the income level increases. Inferior goods are goods that their demand falls when the level of income rises. Do you get it here? When the level of income rises, the demand for inferior goods will fall. When the income level rises, the demand for normal goods will rise, shifting the demand curve rightward for normal goods and demand curve leftward for inferior goods. That is when the income level rises. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So we go to fashion and taste. For fashion and taste, here I wrote, Fashion and taste. This implies to changes that occur to demand patterns of customers due to taste and fashion over time. This may be influenced by social changes, for example, social media, which has seen huge increase in the demand since the launch, shifting demand over outward. When talking about fashion and taste, a lot of people, the demand for a product will rise based on the latest, the trending things. So if it's the latest, based on what we see, then the demand for such product will rise. But the old-fashioned products, their demand will fall. People want to be associated with the latest. So you wouldn't see taking an example of the iPhone. Nobody talks about iPhone 9, iPhone 8 anymore. Do you understand? The demand for such iPhone model has shifted what to the left because of fashion and taste. So people talk about iPhone 13, iPhone 14 probably. The demand for such model has what increased. This is what we're talking about, fashion and taste. So old-fashioned products, their demand will fall. The latest is what people are associated with. The demand will rise, shifting the demand curve rightward. So people go with trend. Do you understand? Things that are in trend, that are trending, the demand for such things or such products will shift rightward. Then old-fashioned products, the demand will shift leftward. Is it clear? That's about fashion and taste. Then we go to price of substitutes. So when we talk about substitutes, we're talking about products that can be used instead of another, like Coca-Cola, Pepsi. They are substitutes, yes or no? Your school, probably your school and other schools, they are substitutes. So if I'm not going to school A, I could go to school B. Do you understand? So the price of school A, an increase in the price of school A is an increase in the price or tuition fee of school A might increase the price, the quantity demanded of school B. So students might stop going to school A due to the increase in price of the tuition fee to start going to school B. That is substitute. Do you understand what substitute means? So I wrote.
Like competition.
Yeah. So I wrote, if the price of a substitute good were lowered, the demand for a product would fall, shifting the demand curve for that product leftward from D1 to D3. If product A increases it, or if product A and product B are in the same competition, are in the same industry, product B lowered its own price, that might reduce the demand for product A, shifting the demand curve of product A leftward. Is it clear? And the demand for product B rightward. Is it clear? So that is price of substitute. Any questions about that? No. Then we have price of complements.
What is a complement?
A complement, when we talk about complement, we're talking about goods that have to be purchased together. Goods that are, you can't, like car key and the car, the laptop and the charger, they are complementary goods. Tea and sugar, they are complements. Bread and tea, they are complements. This kind of goods, we call them complementary goods or complements. So what?
They suit each other.
Yeah, they use together. They are used together. So what we're talking about is the price of a complement. So I wrote, some goods are purchased together. If the price of one rises, the demand for the other might fall, shifting the demand curve leftward from D1 to D3. So if the price of a laptop, for example, increases, the quantity demanded for laptop chargers might fall. Do you understand? Do you get the point here? So these are complementary goods. So a rise in price of a complement good might reduce the quantity demanded of its used product. Do you understand? So the product that we have to use it with, if the price of the product increases, the demand for that product will fall. Do you understand? So shifting the demand curve leftward from D1 to D3. Any question about price of complements here? I think you know what complement goods are now. Goods that are purchased together. So that takes us to demographic changes. So when we talk about demographic changes, we're talking about the population. Changes in population. It could be changes in age, changes in gender, changes in religion, all these things could also shift the demand of rightward or leftward. But we have to understand that population continue to increase in the world, yes or no? So as long as the population continue to increase, the demand for goods and services would what? Definitely increase. But it now depends on what kind of population is increasing. Is it the male gender or the female gender? If it's the male gender, the demand for certain male products would rise. If it's the female gender, the demand for certain female gender products would increase, shifting either right or to the left. Do you have any question about demographic changes? So that's all about it. Then we have activity 2.
Can you make it forward?
Hold on, please. Yeah, it's going to be homework. So you have activity 2.